What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to have a look at my team selection for Game Week 5. If you do enjoy, do consider liking and subscribing, but let's get straight into the video. What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. So my weekly team selection video. I hope you have all had a good week. We're going to have a look at Game Week 4, how I got on, and look ahead to Game Week 5. My team selection, who I'm deciding to bench, who I'm going to transfer out. I have Antonio, I have other headaches that I'm going to discuss and what I'm going to do with them, and we'll look at the transfers that I'm potentially going to make. But starting off with Game Week 4 and how I got on. So I made 2 free transfers. I sold Danny Ings and I sold Bruno Fernandes. Now Bruno Fernandes did get a goal, get 8 points, but I did take a -4 to bring in Cristiano Ronaldo, who was there my captain. So I did make up the 4-point hit that I did take because I captained Cristiano Ronaldo. Was so happy when the first goal went in. Then he got the second one, and again was just so pleased with how the transfers have made. Last week my transfers weren't nearly as effective as they were this week, so it was good to get some good transfers under my belt. In terms of how this impacted my team and how I actually got on point scoring wise, we started off pretty good when we look at the defence. So Sanchez got 6, a clean sheet, which is really good. Nice that Brighton are finally starting to keep a few clean sheets. Doesn't make that many saves, but a clean sheet is still better than nothing, of course. And White in the defence. There was a lot of question about why I started White last game week. I got a lot of comments of why is White starting, why you've got an Arsenal player in your starting lineup. They kept a clean sheet against Norwich, and there was a lot of good potential for that. And I think going forward, he's still definitely a good pick that I'm happy to be owning. So 6 and 5 is a good way to start. If we push on now to add our double Liverpool option. So Trent got 12, got an assist, clean sheet, and then of course whenever he gets an attacking return, it's pretty much guaranteed that he gets the 3 bonus points as well. So really happy with that. He's very highly owned, but still it gives me a bit of a green arrow still owning him, of course. And Salah, my vice captain, he got 1 goal, was happy enough with that. He's so highly owned that it doesn't really impact my rank overall that much, but of course happy that he's ticking along, that he's in form, he's getting the goals for when I do captain him in future game weeks, of course. So pretty pleased with the start to my game week from these 4. However, we then add in the West Ham duo of Benrahma and Antonio, who are much more disappointing. Benrahma got 3, he got a clean sheet point and then a 2 appearance point, which is fine, you're allowed to get a blank, but he did blank in game week 3 as well, so we will consider what we do with him, given that he was subbed off after about 65 minutes. And then of course there is the dilemma that we're all going to have now with Mikel Antonio, who got sent off in about the 93rd minute for a second yellow card. He got -1. Luckily, I didn't captain. If any of you guys did captain him, drop it in the comments down below, and I feel so sorry for you. But what we do with the West Ham guys is definitely something I'm going to talk about when we get to the transfer section. Next up, we add the triple Manchester United. So good returns from them all. Assist for Luke Shaw for Cristiano Ronaldo, assist for Mason Greenwood for Cristiano Ronaldo. So again, happy with those 2, keep ticking along the points. Greenwood got rested in the Champions League this week, so it looks like he'll be fine to start in Game Week 5. But of course, the main talking point was captain Cristiano Ronaldo. So I didn't play my wild card, but I did decide to get him in. And 2 goals, maximum bonus points, no yellow card, anything like that. 26. Great, and just sort of summed up how the rest of my game week go. I often speak at how important the captaincy return is, and getting 26 from Ronaldo just meant that I had a much better game week than I could have done. And finally, we add the double Watford attack. Now, this was disappointing at home to Wolves. Wolves was obviously the hardest fixture of their next 3, playing Norwich and Newcastle in the next 2. I did decide to bench Rafinha. Now, Rafinha only scored 2 points. He could have had an assist, but fortunately he didn't. So it didn't make much of a difference if I played Rafinha or Dennis. It was only 1 point either way. So I'm pretty happy that I decided to stick to my guns and go with the Watford duo, because I did think there was more chance of Watford scoring than I think there was for Leeds. So nothing from those 2, but we will continue to have them in the upcoming game weeks, of course. In terms of the overall score, it gave me 72 points with a -4, so 68 points net overall, which I'm pretty happy with. It gave me a game week rank of just outside the top 1 million, which is still pretty decent for a game week. Anything sort of 1 million inside, I think, is a really good rank. 2 million up, you should be getting a pretty decent green arrow, I think. So it moves my overall score up from 306, and given that my old rank was 320k, I have moved up to 250k. So a nice 70k green arrow. Still have my wild card in hand, have my 1 free transfer to go in. So now let's have a bit of a look about what I'm going to do next week in terms of my potential transfers for Game Week 5. So if we start off by having a look at some of those potential transfers out. So I think there are 3 players I'm considering selling this game week. First of all, of course, has to be the suspended Mikel Antonio. Now, he only misses one game. He does have Leeds and then Brentford once he returns, but having a suspended player is never what you want. The other one is Ben Rama, so I don't think he's looked that great. They have Europa League. We'll see if he starts on Thursday evening, but he got hauled off early in game week 4 as well, so that is a bit of a dilemma. And then Tsimikas is the other one. Now, I could upgrade him. I have got 1.7 million in the bank, as it says under me there on the video, so 1.7 million in the bank would allow me to go up to about a 5.8 million defender, which I could do a lot with, and especially given the strength of my team this week with Antonio suspended and Ben Rama, I could bring them back into my team next week when they play Leeds and just play that extra defender this week. So in terms of who those replacements could be for these three, the first ones we're looking at of Patrick Bamford. So there is a slight doubt about whether Bamford is going to be fit for game week 5, so I will of course wait and hear if we see any news on him. I could also go Jimenez of Wolves. His underlying stats are really nice. He's taking a lot of shots. He's also making a lot of key passes as well. So those goals and assists can definitely come with him. Damari Gray looks great. 3 goals in the last 3. 3 goals in the first 4 matches so far this season. A good return for him. I am also considering Doucouré. They have a nice run of fixtures, and if they continue to score goals without Calvert-Lewin, the goals are going to have to come from elsewhere in the team, so I think he has a good chance of continuing with his returns. And the final we've got is Semedo. So Semedo versus Marçal was a big talking point for a lot this week. I think if you're bringing one in this week, I do think it is still Semedo. I feel like we've missed the points on Marçal a little bit this week. I think Semedo had a lot of good chances last week. He could have scored a couple of goals. So if I do bring in a replacement for the likes of Tsimikas, I think Semedo will go into my team this week. So just to summarise what those transfers could be, so I'm looking to probably sell Antonio, Benrahma, Tsimikas, and then the replacements that I could go with are Bamford, Gray or Semedo. Now at time of recording, I haven't made any transfers, and it is also possible that I decide not to make any transfers. So with that all in mind, let's have a quick look at how I could potentially line up for Game Week 5 and who I'll bench, who I'll start, and any potential transfers that I will make. So here we are, Game Week 5 team selection. So at the moment, I'm planning on actually making no transfers because I'm so unsure that I could do one transfer in defence, a transfer in midfield, a transfer up front, or roll my transfer. I've gone into this video saying that I'm going to make none. If I change my mind, which could quite possibly happen, I'm pretty 50, it's probably 25% that I'm going to do the defence transfer, the midfield transfer, or the forward transfer. If Bamford is fit, that does feel really appealing. If I find a midfielder that I like and I think has got a good chance of continuing to return, I could do that. If I go for Semedo in defence, again, I like that, but there's equal opportunity that with the players that I've got, which we'll talk about in a minute, that I could decide to roll my transfer. So I feel like it's equal opportunity for them all. So I've gone with that I'm making no transfers for the sake of this, and we'll talk about them and my team lineup now. So in goal, we will have again Sanchez of Brighton. So Leicester at home. Leicester have been mixed. I do probably expect Leicester to score, although Brighton have been good defensively. Webster is now out injured for them, which isn't exactly what I wanted, but he's my set and forget goalkeeper and will be there every week for me. First up in the defence, we have Ben White. So I am starting Ben White again. He plays away at Burnley. Now, Burnley at home do tend to score. The other option, which we'll get onto in the bench in a minute, is Ayling. But I do think that White has a better opportunity of keeping a clean sheet away to Burnley than Ayling does away at Newcastle. So he is the one starting in my team, and hopefully he can get another clean sheet for me. Elsewhere in the defence, we have Luke Shaw. So West Ham away for Shaw. Now, without Antonio, I think West Ham's attacking output goes down dramatically. So there is definitely a chance for a clean sheet for Luke Shaw, but there's always that attacking threat. Now, he got an assist with a through ball for Ronaldo, but there's also the chance that with those crosses in, with the aerial ability that Ronaldo has, that he gets it onto his head and there's an assist that way. So I do think, even away to West Ham, who I think is a good chance of them scoring, there is that attacking threat for Luke Shaw as well. Now, elsewhere in the defence, of course, we have Trent, and this combines with Salah in my Liverpool double-up. Now, Trent, Crystal Palace at home is a great fixture. He scored in the Champions League. Now, Salah missed a penalty in the Champions League, but I still expect him to be the penalty taker. He's still high-flying. He's still going for that golden boot. He's played well so far this season, one of the highest-scoring players. Of course, he's in my starting lineup, as I'm sure he's in a lot of yours as well. Next up, we add Rafinha. So finally, that Leeds good run of fixtures that we've been looking to target is finally starting. Newcastle away on Friday night, potentially a good fixture, especially if Callum Wilson is out for them. Rafinha is highly involved. I think he's great at 6.5 million. Very happy that I own him. And I think he's one that a lot of you, when you're looking to change midfield, if you're looking to sell Benrahma, if I didn't have Rafinha, it would be a straight swap into him. So that's very good that I already own him. Next up, Mason Greenwood. So again, he got rested or benched in the Champions League, whichever way you want to see it. But I think it means that he's going to start in Game Week 5 nonetheless. So given that he's got a return in every game week since Game Week 1, I hope he can continue, although this is probably the most difficult fixture that he's had yet. But of course, still happy that I'm owning him so far. Now, the other one is Ben Rama. So at the moment, I'm starting Ben Rama. Although there's no Antonio, Ben Rama still looked very good. It may depend on how many minutes he gets in the Europa League on Thursday evening, whether he's starting, whether he comes off the bench, everything like that. But Manchester United haven't necessarily been that great defensively. I do think there's a good chance at home that West Ham score. Without Antonio, it's quite unsure exactly who's going to line up where. There's a small chance that Ben Rama plays as sort of centre forward, so I am starting him this week over the likes of players on my bench. Up front, we've got Cristiano Ronaldo, so West Ham away, again to combine with Greenwood and Luke Shaw. He looked good in the first game, of course he did. He scored again in the Champions League, so even when they're not winning, he's scoring goals. I'm very happy that I brought him in last week in for Bruno Fernandes. He will continue to remain in my team until I decide to look for the likes of Lukaku when his fixtures run, but of course, happy that Ronaldo is there for sure. And finally, into this team, we add the double Watford attack again. So they've got Norwich away this week. Sarr, of course, is definitely going to start. They concede a lot of chances down their left-hand side, so the attack's right, which is where Sarr plays. So I do think there's a good chance for a Sarr return. And Josh King hasn't been that great playing up front for Watford, so I'm hoping there's a chance that Dennis goes through the middle and they bring Cuco Hernandez to play on the left wing. Now, he could be back on the left wing, which isn't quite as appealing. However, if I look at my bench, Ayling, Newcastle away, he might be playing centre-back as well. There are a few injuries in that Leeds team, so I don't expect them to keep a clean sheet. Antonio suspended and Tsimikas, of course, not playing at the moment. So Dennis is starting. If I do make a transfer, I will have to make a decision of whether Dennis is the one that gets benched, Ben Rama could get benched, or even Ben White could get benched. But at the moment, this is how I'm lining up for Game Week 5. So let's have a look finally at my potential captaincy options this game week. So there are two potential captaincy options that I have. First of all, we have Mo Salah and finally Cristiano Ronaldo. So a home fixture against Crystal Palace for Salah and away against West Ham. Now Salah has been on great form since the start of the season. He's scored lots of goals. He started in the Champions League on Wednesday, but I still think he's good to start in that fixture against Palace. Now Palace have been not bad. They beat Tottenham 3-0. However, I do expect Liverpool to continue scoring goals and Salah to continue to be involved. Now Ronaldo is the other one that I could go with. So away at West Ham are probably a slightly better defensive team than Palace, although it's an away fixture as well, which makes me probably sway towards Salah. So at the time of recording, Salah is my captain, and I'd be very surprised if I do move off him. So that's my team, that's my captain, my transfer thoughts and everything like that. If you have enjoyed, as it says below, please do think about liking and subscribing to the channel. A big thank you for everyone who has subscribed. We've just passed 12,000 subscribers, which is incredible. I didn't ever think I'd reach this. So if you have enjoyed, please do like and subscribe. Turn on notifications as well, because there's so many useful videos hopefully to come over the coming game weeks. But I'll be back very soon to help you out Game Week 6 and beyond. So have a good weekend, everyone, and good luck in Game Week 5.